I didn't think anything could come close to Brie Larson single-handedly pissing off the entire country of India, but a challenger has entered the arena in the form of Jada Pinkett Smith and Netflix. And which country do they pretty much single-handedly piss off? Egypt. Yes. Egypt's Ministry of Tourism is stepping into the ring and lambasting Netflix for not even getting the simplest historical facts correct. Hello, this is Mara Jade, and I'm back with another video, and I don't think anything will necessarily top Brie Larson pissing off India, but like I said, Netflix and Jada Pinkett Smith have come close. Very close, and we'll see how this story progresses. Now, do I think anything will drastically happen as far as what's going on with Netflix and the country of Egypt? Not really, no, I don't think so, but the fact that it's in the news and Netflix can't sweep it under the rug is what brings a smile to my face. But at any rate, let's just dive right into this article so we can get a gauge of what Egypt's Ministry of Tourism and Archaeology is saying. So without further ado, here it is. It seems that it's not just individual historians and fans of objective truth that have taken issue with Netflix's decision to race swap the eponymous ruler for their upcoming Queen Cleopatra docuseries, as Egypt's National Ministry of Tourism and Archaeology recently voiced a stark opposition to the streamer's attempt to rewrite their own history. Yeah, a country, alright, where this actual historical figure ruled, alright, is not happy. Is not happy with Netflix and Jada Pinkett Smith and the director for the series rewriting their history. The second entry in producer Jada Pinkett Smith's African Queen series, Queen Cleopatra, will set out to tell the story of Queen Cleopatra, the world's most famous, powerful, and misunderstood woman, a daring queen whose beauty and romances came to overshadow her real asset, her intellect. Anyone who knows anything about Queen Cleopatra would never dispute that. I've said so on live streams pretty much that yes, maybe her life is up for debate. We don't exactly know the ins and outs of whatever decisions or all the decisions she made. However, she was one of the most intelligent women, alright, not just rulers, not just women, but rulers over that dynasty. Right? There's no questioning that. So for them to think that they're somehow breaking some glass ceiling when they portray this, it's just mind-boggling. Cleopatra's heritage has been the subject of much academic debate. No, not her heritage. No, her heritage is pretty fucking well known. Alright? We know where her heritage stems from. Maybe her life, as I said, is up for debate because we don't know exactly everything that transpired in each of her daily machinations, so to speak, but at the very least we know her heritage. And like again, they're basically, it's them telling their own political agenda, not the actual history. It's been basically proven in the statements given by the docuseries director, which has often been ignored by Hollywood, reads the series' official synopsis. Now our series reassesses this fascinating part of her history. That's the key word there. That's the key word. Reassesses. Alright? Swap out reassess with reimagine. That's what they're fucking doing. Alright? That's the key wording right there. They're swapping out words, but really what they're saying is now our series reimagines this fascinating part of her story. In attempting to validate her taking creative liberty to portray the historical figure as black, Pinkett Smith argued, we don't often get to see or hear stories about black queens, and fucking tell, they're Nefertiti for fuck's sakes. Jesus fucking Christ. There are examples in history that you could tell. You didn't have to race swap Queen Cleopatra. And that was really important for me, as well as for my daughter. Oh, you mean Jaden? And just for my community to be able to know those stories because there are tons of them. If there are tons of them, then why did you race swap Cleopatra? If there are tons that you could have picked from, a literal fucking buffet of opportunities to showcase black queens in history, you could, like, there were tons. Why did you race swap Cleopatra? I know that's a rhetorical question, but dear fucking God. Cleopatra is a queen who many know about, but not in her truth. I hate that fucking expression. You have no idea. There is the truth. The truth. Not her truth, not his truth, not my truth, not anyone's truth. It's just the fucking truth. And the truth is, she was not black. She's been displayed as overtly sexual. Yeah, so. Look at that fucking dynasty. Oh my god. They were like literally Game of Thrones level of inbreeding. Excessive and corrupt, yet she was a strategist and intellect, a commanding force of nature who fought to protect her kingdom, and her heritage is highly debated. Again, no. Again, no. This season we'll dive deeper into her history and reassess this fascinating part of her history. Again, that wording is reimagined. That's what they mean. That's what they fucking mean. They're reimagining her history, not actually reassessing it. There's nothing really to fucking reassess, unless you somehow find out something about her life that was wrong in the historical text, but not about her heritage. Alright? Unsurprisingly, given its blatant disregard of factual evidence, Netflix's announcement of the series resulted in them receiving a wave of criticism from potential audience members, the entirety of which, especially those complaints leveled by actual Egyptians, have since been condescendingly dismissed by the project's director, Tina Garavi, on the grounds that she cannot believe anyone would want their history treated respectfully rather than patronizingly overwritten in order to center someone who only tangentially shared a superficial quality with them. Tina's a bitch, alright? Again, I made a video on this. I'll post a link, basically that you can click on where, like, she pretty much flat out just about says that it's all about an agenda with her. It's all about making a political statement. That's her words. Those are her words. And this is what she and Jada Pinkett Smith and Netflix is giving us. Alright? However, it seems the streaming service will no longer be able to simply plug their ears and ignore the objections to their blatant disrespect, as Egypt's own Ministry of Tourism and Archaeology recently joined the conversation themselves to offer a scathing rebuke of Queen Cleopatra's self-important rhetoric. Oh, do tell. In a statement published to their official Facebook page on April 27th, the ministry explained that as per the nation's Secretary General of the Supreme Council of Archaeology, Mustafa Waziri, right? The appearance of the heroine in this body is a falsification of Egyptian history and a blatant historical misconception. Especially because the film is classified as a documentary and not a drama. See, that's the key wording there also. Alright? Now, not that I would agree with this, but if it had been showcased as a drama, basically a fictionalized account of Queen Cleopatra, and they race-swapped her, it'd be like, okay, what the fuck ever, Hollywood does that, pretty much, I wasn't going to watch it anyway. But they're couching it as a documentary, meaning not fictionalized, it's actually non-fiction. It's supposed to be historical fact. And they're saying no, because it's been classified as a documentary and not a drama, a classification which requires the owners of the industry to investigate accuracy and refer to historical, like actual historical and scientific facts in order to ensure that the history and civilization of peoples is not falsified. Alright, I'm not going to read this entire post. You can read it for yourselves. I'll post the link in the description. They're basically coming out and saying, bull fucking shit. This is not a historical fact. Waziri added that archaeologists and anthropologists should have been referred to when making such kind of documentary and historical films that will remain a witness on civilization and history of nations. I remember going into an article for Talk Nerdy to Us, not last Saturday, but the Saturday before, and a so-called expert was hired by Netflix for that docuseries, and Egypt is coming out and saying, no, you didn't have an actual expert on that show, or that docuseries. Like, you should have asked actual archaeologists and anthropologists, actual historians. The government body continued, noting that there are many Queen Cleopatra's artifacts and depiction on coins that confirm its true shape and features, they all show off Queen Cleopatra's Hellenic, which is Greek features, in terms of light complexion, drawn nose, and fluffy lips. This is an Egyptian man saying this. Alright? And an Arabic man saying this. He's saying no. He's not trying to, like, couch it as if Queen Cleopatra was Arabic or anything. No, he's actually actual history. She was Greek, specifically Macedonian, but she had Hellenic features. He also says that the state of rejection that the film witnessed before its screening comes from the heart of defending the history of Queen Cleopatra VII, which is an important and authentic part of ancient Egyptian history, and away from any ethnic racism, certainly on the full respect for African civilizations and our brothers in the African continent that unites us all, wrote the ministry. Again, if there are tons of examples that Jada Pinkett Smith could have picked, alright, then why did she choose to do this? And I know it's a rhetorical question because the reason is because a political statement. Solely the reason why. Solely the reason why. Turning to another expert, the ministry then cited Cairo University Egyptian Department of Archaeology head Dr. Nasser Makawi, noting how he had likewise declared, quote, that Queen Cleopatra's appearance in this film, in this body, competes with the simplest historical facts and the writings of historians such as Plutarchus and Cassius, I should say, who recorded the events of Roman history in Egypt in the reign of Queen Cleopatra, and affirmed that she was light-skinned and that she is of pure Macedonian origins. Right? Again, an Arabic, Egyptian man saying this. By pointing out she was of fair, light-skinned complexion. She was not ethnically Egyptian, alright, and she was certainly not black. Makawi pointed out that Queen Cleopatra VII descended from an ancient Macedonian dynasty that ruled Egypt for nearly 300 years, founded by King Battalmus I, a Macedonian leader of the army of Alexander the Great, to which the state of Egypt came after the death of Alexander, and founded the Bethlehemian family, they elaborated. Alright, Bethlehemius, right, for the first married queen, Bernike the First, also of Macedonian descent, and King Bethlehemius II, which were after him and his sons and grandchildren continued to mate from their female sisters in accordance with the customs of this era, with the rival Queen Cleopatra VII and her brother Bethlehemius XIV, right, maintaining the purity of their Macedonian race throughout this time period. Like I said, literally historical Game of Thrones right there, of level of inbreeding. So again, her heritage is not up for debate. Her heritage is not. Life maybe, but not her heritage. Formerly, biological anthropology studies and DNA studies conducted on ancient Egyptian mummies and bones confirm that Egyptians do not bear the features of South Sahara Africans, whether in the form of the skull, genital anthropology, or DNA detailed the ministry. Biological acid studies conducted on mummies and bones confirm that the Egyptians do not carry the features of sub-Saharan Africans in the form of skull, the width of the foreskin, the width at the nose and expansion of the upper jaw, hair appearance, body organ ratio, height, length, distribution of or density of body hair. The fact that we see a great diversity between the features of the Egyptians is due to the progress of this land being built, the stability of its inhabitants, and their melting to every stranger within their space. Makawi added that all of the sculptures and statues left behind by the ancient Egyptians on temples and tombs depicted Egyptians with features similar to that of modern Egyptians in terms of eye color, hair color, skin, and the softness and density of hair of men and women, the statement noted. Even the skin color and the presence of colored eyes, which are depicted in some ancient country statues. Even when some of the embossing techniques in the 21st century family changed and they began to paint the mummy's skin to make them look as they did in their first life, they painted the man's skin in brown color and the woman's skin in light yellow, confirming that what was drawn and confirmed on the walls is a fact recorded by the ancient Egyptian himself. Right? That's Cleopatra right there. Look, fair-skinned, red hair. Drawing on the expertise of one last specialist, the ministry closed out their statements with the words of Dr. Katrina Martinez, head of the Dominican mission and worker at the Temple of Taparziris Magna West in Alexandria. As per Dr. Martinez, although there are conflicting views about her race, not really, it is certain that she was born in Egypt in 69 AD from Macedonian origin, they concluded, a sign that, by referring to the statues and coins left behind, the queen asserts without doubt her Hellenistic features, which is clearly seen in the marble bust preserved in the Berlin Museum from the 1st century BC, and is seen wearing a royal crown and eyes with the Lusitani drawn nose and delicate lips, plus another half statue preserved in the Vatican shown with soft features, a marble head shown in its wearing of headscarf, as well as a number of coins depicted by the same Hellenistic body. Basically saying, again, not black. Fair-skinned, result of inbreeding, Alright, to keep the family line pure. Alright, and they're noting that even features, physical features in comparison from Egyptians in comparison to the sub-Saharan Africans are different. Queen Cleopatra would not have the characteristics of sub-Saharan Africans. This is Egypt talking, pretty much. This is pretty much a government body talking. It's getting worse for Netflix. The more people talk about this, it's getting worse. And again, I don't think anything's really gonna necessarily happen with Netflix, and I wouldn't speculate this actually topping the beautiful scenario of Brie Larson single-handedly pissing off the entire country of India. But it's close. It's close. But at any rate, what are your thoughts down in the comments below? Do you agree with what Netflix and Jada Pinkett Smith are doing? Do you disagree with what they're doing? Are you planning on watching the docuseries at all? What are your thoughts on this whole scenario? Do you think anything will happen in Netflix? Do you think it'll get progressed further within the country of Egypt to the extent that maybe, just maybe, Netflix will be banned from that country? Who knows? Who knows? I don't think it'll exactly hit Netflix too hard, but at the same time, it's not exactly helping their reputation. But at any rate, again, let me know all those thoughts down in the comments below. I will be live later tonight on Kick for some more Halo 2 campaign, so come check that out. My Kick is Jade Shadow. I will be following me on Twitter. I always post when I'm going to go live, so come check that out. If you like this video, leave a thumbs up. Share on social media if you will. This is Mara Jade. Catch you on the dark side, and you gotta love it. You gotta fucking love it.